Okay, see, I will discuss about the documentation. Okay, you try to practice in your systems. Okay, if you had any questions, I'll tell you. See, documenting the application is nothing but, see, after completing all the rules, designing all the rules in the application, if you want to create a just overview of the application, okay, if you want to create an overview of your application, we can create a application documentation here. So application documentation, no need to have any manually, no need to have any skills. So directly there is a wizard is there, document wizard. So from there we can enter the name of the application, we can enter the rule set name, case names, and for which rules you want to generate this documentation. We can give the details and automatically it will generate a wizard. Okay, so it will generate a document for us. Okay, in that document, from application setup till what are the rules we configured, everything will be there in detail. Okay, what are the application name, business objectives, then what are all the cases we configured, and inside each case what are the process we configured, and inside the process and what are all the different rules we generated, everything will be there inside the documentation. Means it will give a model of the entire application. Okay, documentation will give the entire this one blueprint of the application. Okay, so anytime suppose any new one joins the organization, he can review that one. Okay, by checking this documentation they can review the entire application. Okay, so try this
Hari,
one.
Like yesterday's, whatever you shared the thing, right? Whatever the link you shared, it has already documentation in export and import along with harness.
Yeah, it's there, that's what I'm saying. Just I'm giving only the theory, but you have to practice by yourself.
Okay.
Okay, and harness also, because again I format the hard disk is crashed, again the setup is installed again, so I cannot take the documentation right now because I don't have any rules in this new ID. You try by yourselves by referring the video. And even harness also, just I will give an overview of that. So harness is from user interface, we can generate this harness, and this is harness is nothing but a container of section. Okay, like how we use the fly action for using the for dragging and dropping the section into the fly action, harness is also container of section rule. And when we will use this harness means, here suppose if when we will use, generally difference between flash and harness is, if we have series of pages, okay, continuous series of pages like connecting one page to other page, means after submitting one form if you want to display next form, like if you have a series of pages in a flow, we will go with the flaction rule. But if you have only one page, it should open directly if you click on any link or any button or any control. If you want to open only one form, a separate form in a new form, in a new pop-up window or in a new window, then such screens will configure inside a harness rule. Okay, so that one. So first of all, as usual, we'll create a section rule we have to configure, and inside the section, from which control you want to open this harness, suppose link or button or formatted text or anything, so we have to choose. Okay, either using controls like link or button or some formatted text, we can configure this harness. Okay, and for this harness, section will create separately, and we will, instead of dragging and dropping the section into the fly action rule, we will drag and drop the section inside the harness rule will drop. And in the only difference between flash and harness is, in the harness we can add custom buttons. Okay, in the harness we can add custom buttons, that is the only difference. And remaining things is same as it is. What are the things we have, what are the options, and what are, okay, and one more thing is, inside harness we cannot add business logic. Okay, like in the flaction we'll generally we'll use validations and business logic we can define, but inside harness only it's a container of a section. Apart from that, we can add custom buttons, so that is the only thing we can do inside harness. And just we can add a section. If you want to add any custom buttons, we can add the buttons. Okay, you can see the example which I sent yesterday. and if you have any doubts you can ask in the next session. Try this. So what are the harness you created after saving the section and adding the section inside the harness? This harness rule we have to add or configure inside the anything. What are the control we used, either link or button? From the actions we have to configure this harness rule. Okay, from the link or button actions we have to configure this harness. So that one you have in detail, it is there in the video. Once do this one also. And other thing, exporting the application. Okay, import and export. Okay, two separate things. So import and all we will not do. Import means within from the developer environment, what are the application we export, it will generate a file. So some jar format it will generate a file. So that jar file will import into the production server. Before importing we need to export the data. Okay, inside the developer environment, what are the data we define, means what are the rules we create inside the application, entire thing from classes to till end of the application, what are the rules we create inside the application. So it will be saved inside the where the rules are saved. Once after creating them, all the rules are saved inside the rule set. Okay, inside the rule set all our rules are saved. Once the designing is done inside the developer environment, we need to export the data. Okay, we need to export all the rules from the developer environment. So once after how to export here, we have different modes are there. Okay, we are having different modes. So based on that requirement, so we can go with these options. So we have export by rule set option, and export by product option, and export by patch also is there. Okay, so generally we will use these options. So when we will go with the rule set means, see if you want to export the data, suppose if you have only one rule set you are using in the application. Okay, if you are using only one rule set for the entire application, so what happens with this rule set means, what are the data, see for example, previously we are when we created application, every rule we are creating inside one rule set. Okay, everything we are creating under one rule set. So then what happens, the easily, so just a single step we can export all the data from this rule set, because everything is saved inside this rule set only. Then what happens, directly we can use option as export by rule set. So entire data within this application so will get exported, and it will be saved in the form of jar file. So in order to do that, okay, try new systems, because my data is already, it's again refreshed here, reinstall the software. So try new systems. See if you want to do the export option from the application, if you go to designer studio, application, distribution, export option. Okay, so select export mode is by default it is rule set only. Okay, what are the application, first of all what is the rule set name, select that one. So here it must be sample here in my, so what are the rule set name you're using, select the rule set name. So by default the latest version which is there in the bottom, you can select the version in the drop down and give the name for the export file. Okay, so what are the name you want to give the name for the export file, and just click on perform export. Okay, so see in your applications in the personal edition, you can go with this process, everything in the application you can export easily. See what are the rules you are generating, you can export the entire data using this option. Okay, so by rule set means everything, what are the rules we have under this rule set, everything will get exported from this option. Okay, if you use the export by rule set or version. Okay, when they will use this option means, if you have only one rule set in the application, so they can use this option. Then everything will get exported from this by rule set or version option. And also if we have multiple rule sets means, then we have to use the product option. If we have multiple rule sets in the application means, we need to use a product rule. Actually it is a separate rule. We have to configure that rule separately, and from there we can add any number of rule sets in the from this application. Okay, that is, it comes under sysadmin category. So this one also, just refer the video and try. If it comes under sysadmin category, we have option called product option here. Okay, using this product option or using this product rule. So the difference between the rule set and by rule set and by product is, so here we can configure only single rule set using this option. Only single rule set we can configure in this by rule set option. But if you use this product option, we can configure multiple rule sets at a time. That is the difference here. We can configure multiple rule sets using this product option. So just to try this one. So you'll get an option called, so enter the name of the application, enter the name of the rule set, then instances will be there. So instances and all you will use at the time of adding a patch. Okay, patch also you'll use from the same rule only. See, when we will use okay, first of all let me tell me about the product first. So if you want to include the application name, you will include the application name here. And if you have multiple rule sets one after another, you can add in each row, you can add one rule set here. Okay, so these two options are sufficient if you're taking a product option. So then once after giving the details, okay, all these options are not required. At the time of patch you can use those options. Okay, so just create product file, save the rule and click on create product file. Okay, so that is automatically under the both the rule set, what are the options we have, everything will get exported and it will save in a form of jar format. Okay, and how to use the patch option. So patch option means if already product is after exporting all the data in the widget, sorry, after exporting all the rules inside the application, suppose any changes happen on any few rules, so manually we can configure them in the patch option. So for that also we'll start from the product only. From the product rule only we'll have more options like, so after giving application name and rule sets name, we have something called class instances to include and individual class instance to include. See, generally class instance is nothing but, I told you in the previous sessions also, generally inside the rule set all the rules are saved under some class instance based on the rule type. Okay, if it is a property it will have one class instance, if it is a section it will have one class instance, if it is a flag action it will have one class instance. For example, anytime, okay, just option is given, very rarely we will use. If you want to include all the rules related to that class instance means, for example, if you want to include all the property rules means, then we have to select the class instance as rule hyphen obj hyphen. So how the class instance names will be means like this. Suppose activities comes under rule and obj and activity. Classes comes under rule and obj and class. Correspondence comes under rule and obj and correspondence. Flows rule and obj and flow. Flow action. Okay. So like this, rule and obj and property. Rule and obj and report definition, service level. Rule and obj and validate, work parties. So like this we have all the rules. For every rule we have these class instances. So like this, if you want to know the instances for the decision rules, we have rule hyphen declare hyphen constraints, rule if and declare if and decision table, decision trees, expressions, on changes, pages. So all these comes under like this. For every rule, if you take, we'll have a class instance will be there. So if you add this class instance means, so inside that particular application, inside that rule set, what are these instances under this class instance, what are the rules we have, all the rules get exported. Okay, so like this, any individual rules like all property rules or all section rules or all flow rules, if you want to export means, so manually we can include the class instance to include option. And if you want to give any filter, we can use the filter also, only that particular records, only particular rules only if you want to export like that. So we'll give the instance and give the filter option. And individual instances to include means, suppose some modifications are done inside a section or some user interface rules. If you want to if you want to import only them means, sorry, if you want to export only those rules means, individual rule like in each rule if you want to add inside this instance means, so first of all, for example, if you want to add any condition or anything, first we need to do is we need to add the instance name like rule hyphen declare hyphen, for example decision table if you want to include means, we need to add the class instance name first, then click on query option. So if you click on query, it will open a widget for us. And from this, okay, right now we don't have any rules under this class, right? So it will not retrieving any data. Okay, but if you search in your systems, okay, if you search in your application, because I didn't enter any application name here, if you search by entering the application name and the rule set name, it will, if you click on query, it will show all the rules related to the decision tables. So from that list, what is your decision table name we have under this classes or anything, you can select that one, click on select, checkbox will be there, select that and click on OK. Like this, individual rules also we can add using this option. So that comes under a patch option actually. So then after saving this product, so how to export the data means, so directly from here we can export, or else if you go to this widget from the Designer Studio application distribution export option, again in the from the drop down also we can use by product means, it will automatically take the product name and the version name and give the file name and perform export. Okay, automatically it will save all the records in a jar file. Okay, but if you're doing a patch means, select by patch option, then you'll select once again, select the product option, version, patch name, and give the name of the file and perform export. Like this, so we can use any of these options based on the requirement. Okay, sometimes most of the time we use product only. Okay, so maximum cases they will use product option, but in the personal edition, for example, if you want to export all the rules from your application means, you can use the easy procedure for you is, you can use the rule set. So automatically if you use the rule set option, the process will be easy for you, because in personal edition we can only configure only one rule set. So then select the name of the rule set, name of your rule set, rule set name is same as application name in the personal edition. What are the application name we give, with the same name rule set name will be there. So automatically it will take whenever we create any rule. So give the name of the rule set, give the version number, and give the file name. Okay, save this file. So for example, like this is, I thought of creating yesterday or tomorrow, but see, if software is crashed or any system fails, so then data will go. If you restart the this PEGA, everything will lost. So at that time it will be helpful. Okay, because see, so now yesterday the system got problem and I reinstalled the PEGA software. Suppose if you if I have this file, I can directly import that file and I can work from there itself. Okay, no need to create everything again. Okay, like this. So if you click on perform export, so everything will get exported into this file name, and it will save in the form of jar file. Okay, you can see in the video the clear steps. And if you want to import that file means, same from the same option distribution, click on import option. Okay, you will save that jar file in your local system somewhere in the downloads or somewhere. browse for that file and click on next and next. It will import to the, we will import that file into the PEGA server. And if once after importing, we can select that from the how to use that application. Then we can use that application from the, by selecting the class name and application name and all from the access group option. From the operator menu, select access group, click on access group. Then what are the application you loaded, right? Okay, what are the application we imported, right? That application name you can select from the application name. Then go to advanced tab, select the work pool name. So work pool name is nothing but your class structure name. Okay, and then in the bottom you'll have a rule set option. Select the rule set name. Okay, we need to select these three things if you want to use the application which is imported into the server. If you want to use that application means, or if you want to load that application means, from the access group option we need to select the application name, the work pool name and the rule set name. Okay, so these things we need to use if you want to, once the application is imported into server. And if you want to use that application means, from the access group we have to select that application. So then save the access group, log off and login. Automatically you'll get the application. So if you log off and login, under the application explorer you'll get the class name and application name, everything will get imported. Then in the real time means, so what are the jar file we exported, right? They will use that file in the production server. Okay, so just check the video which is sent yesterday. If you had any questions, I'll take tomorrow that one about that topic. Next, now I will discuss about, okay, menu bar and how to use menu bar in the application and how to use the, okay, whenever you want to configure a menu bar. So menu bar means what? For example, see if you click on this design studio, this is a menu. Under this all the menus, sub menus, and under the designer studio these are all menus and sub menus. So like this, if you want to configure any menu in the applications, menu bars in the application, we have a control called menu bar. Okay, using the menu bar control, we can configure these screens. And along with the menu bar, if you want to perform these actions means, so what are all the menu names and what action it should perform when we click on that menu. If you want to perform all those actions means, we have a rule called navigation rule. We need to use that one. So whenever we configure a menu bar, we have to compulsory use the navigation rule in the, so in order to configure the menus and submenus. Okay, these two we combinedly use. Menu bar control we need to take, and in order to perform all the actions means, so adding the menus and submenus, and what are the action it should perform when we click on that submenu. So those things we'll set inside the navigation. It is a, navigation is a user interface rule. Okay, under the user interface rule we have this navigation, and this one is used at the time of configuring this menu bar control. Actually I don't have any previous sections. I'll create a few properties and sections I need to create. Okay, so directly I'll open a section first. You can try this thing in the previous your examples. You're continuing the examples, like in the home screen section. Directly in the home screen section you can, now you can use the menu bar controls. Okay, because I don't have them right now. You try to do in the same, from the same section itself. Okay, so properties I'll create later. See, generally, if you want to add a menu bar, for example, so in the left side, or suppose if you want to add three menu bars or something like that, means first of all divide the grid into different parts. Okay, I'm showing one menu bar. You can try for the others. Okay, I will show how to configure one menu. So first of all, divide the grid into different parts. Then inside this grid, inside the layout, add a control, menu bar control. Okay, so here in the menu bar, go to the settings, menu bar control settings. So all these things you try to configure in the home screen section. In the first layout is there, right, in the header panel. Okay, try to configure inside that layout. Next to the logo option, try to add a some space. We have some space is there. The second grid is empty, so delete that grid and try to place in between the logo and the link option. Okay, so here again I cannot configure all those things. You try to do in the first layout is there. Inside the first layout, in the second grid, try to configure this menu bar. Okay, first of all, we have to configure the parameters for this menu bar control. Go to settings. Okay, we have an option called parameters tab. Go to parameters. Configure parameters. Okay, under id you can give anything. In the format I'm taking standard format. And action means how to perform action, how to give a action from for this menu bar control means using the navigation rule. Okay, already by default it is navigation only, and in the every time we will use navigation only. Okay, no need to change anything. In the name option, give anything. Okay, and alignment and all I'm taking the default only, and just click on OK. So just we need to set here. The main thing is we are going to set the format and action here, and remaining things and all by default only I'm going to type. Just click on OK. Click on OK. Okay, so keep this section like this. Meanwhile, I will configure a navigation rule. See, generally navigation, if you want to configure means, so go to user interface. Okay, navigation. See what are the page you want to call. Okay, so all the menu names and okay sub menus or what are the names we have, all those menu names and sub menus and actions will give inside this navigation. Okay, okay, in your system, so try to call the already you have flow actions, right? So we try to call those flow actions and all. So here, so first of all I give the menu name. Okay, first of all we have to give the label. Okay, so for example, if you take this scenario, so under application, just a name, application is just a label, and under this label we have this sub menus like this. Okay, so what we can do, so if you want to first give a label means, so just click on OK. And if you want to add a sub menu under this, so just highlight this one and add child node under this one. Click on add child node. Means under this menu, and we are adding a sub menu for this. Okay, so after giving the label, generally we need to set the actions. So which page you want to display. So what are the page you want to display here? So that page we have to configure from the actions tab. Okay, in your applications, what you will do means, so event will be by default set, because for all the menus and submenus, the default action is click is the default action. Okay, and under add an action, under add an action, so most of the cases we will launch the local action, because any screen if you take, we will configure from the section and flow actions. Okay, so most of the times, so try to launch the local action. In sometimes we launch harness also we can launch, and some cases we can also launch reports and all, report definitions and all also we can launch. Okay, and most of the cases we will use the launch options. Under the add an action, we are going to launch local action. So if in the local action, so we have to enter the name of the flaction. Okay, so already you may have created some flactions in your application, right? So what you will do means, in the local action, in the drop down, if you click on, it will display some flaction names. Okay, add any flaction name in the drop down. Okay, so I didn't configure any actions right now, because so you try to add some flations in the drop down. Okay, or if you already configured the harness in the same class means, you can also configure harness also. Okay, in the action add an action option, you can take action type as launch harness. So there will be an option called, under add an action, if you want to launch any harness means, under the launch category, we have an option called harness option. So we can also launch harness rules also. Okay, if you give the name of the harness, so how it should display, so whether in a new window or in a new pop-up window, or replace the existing one. So that one action you have to give, and under which class this harness rule is there. Okay, and one more thing is, if the harness is within the same class only, we can call. Okay, if it is in a different subclass means, we cannot call that one. If the harness is there within the same class, then we can call that one. Okay, just then give the name of the harness. So just give the name, and automatically it will display that form. So like this. So what are the menus means, they'll get a requirement. So before getting the requirement, they will configure the screens and all. So what are the screens they want to launch, so which page they want to launch, by clicking on that menu or sub menu. So based on that, so they will give the action names. That is, so either they will give the local action. So local action is nothing but a flag action, and other things like we can also launch harness in some scenarios, some other scenarios. So like this. So try to, no need to create one. While you practice this thing, under add an action, select local action and give your existing pages are there, right? So previously we configured few pages, insert page, login page, this one, home screen, payment screens, all these things are there, right? Directly you can add them, no need to create again new things. So just for practicing, so how it will work and all, so try to add the existing functions which you have in your application. Okay, and if you want to add a sub menus under that means, okay, below this menu, if you want to add one more menu means, highlight this one, add below option, add one more menu, and once again you will give the label for this. Okay, and suppose for this menu directly, if you want to set an action means, directly once after giving the label, go to actions tab and same process. So most of the time, So adding action. So every time we need to give an action for every menu, and what are the action, which page you want to call, whether it is in a local action or whether it is in a harness, you will decide. And sometimes we'll call the reports also. That one also I'll show you after this topic. So we can also configure reports and all. So just instead of, I'll tell the report definition I didn't tell you. So we have one option called launch report definition. Okay. So whenever we configure any data reports, if you want to configure them in the using the navigation in the launch category, we can use a report definition option, and we can call the name of the means from which class the report definition is there, and what is the name of the report definition rule also we can launch. So like this, so different rules will be there. Okay, I will share a other reference video also, okay, within your application. So how to add the rules and all. So along with this video I will share another video, because in my application I cannot show the other things. I need to again create all the flagships and all. So this video and the reference video also I will share with you today. Okay, you can practice with that one. So like this, so means when we will use this navigation means anytime if you want to configure a menu bar, under the menu bar, using the menu bar control, if you want to add any menus or sub menus means compulsory we have to use the navigation. And after saving this navigation, we need to configure this inside the, okay, right now it is throwing errors. At least I will take one sample. I will add some sample flagshin. Okay, so just to give some, one second. Okay, and these properties. Okay, just save this one. So meanwhile we'll configure the flow action. One flow action I will configure, because without giving flow action I cannot save this navigation. So under this menu we have a sub menu we have given, right? Open that one. So go to actions. In the drop down give the name of the flow action. Okay, I'm taking as a replace current window. Click on OK. And for the other one also I'm giving the same, because I don't have other one. Just we need to set an action. Okay, you try to configure in a different pages, you can configure. Okay, now save this one. And where we have to configure this navigation means inside the menu bar control, you go to settings. Okay, actually menu bar directly we cannot display in this format, either in a formatted text or in button option or some different input format. We will set this one. So for that what we will do is go to this menu bar settings, go to change option. So how you want to display, you can select any of these options. So display options you can select any. I'm taking as button, because directly we cannot use the menu bar. Some format we have to set, display format. So this format I'm taking as button, and the caption I'm giving as, so give some caption. Now okay, so now this menu bar will look like this. So like a button it will display. So here go to settings, control settings. Now from the actions tab we need to call that navigation. Okay, from this menu, okay, menu bar only, but I'm setting as a button. Okay, so for the menu bar only we are giving the display as button we have given, and for that button we are setting the action now. Okay, main control is menu bar only, but the display format we are setting as button here. Now go to actions of this control, create an action set. Okay, button means it will be click only. Select click option and add an action. We have to display menu. Okay, because we are using the menu bar, right? So under the actions, whenever you want to add the actions for the menu bar, so display menu is the action. Click on this option. So after selecting the display menu, in the drop down it will give the name of the menu bar. Okay, that is nothing, sorry, name of the navigation rule. So what is the navigation rule? Menu underscore navigation is the navigation rule. So after setting an action using the display menu, you can add the navigation in the content option, format. Okay, so and default alignment and default width I'm taking. Click on OK. Okay, so like this, save this control. And if you want to, if you try to add this in a flow action, and if you add this one inside a flow diagram, first of all if you want to see the preview means, okay, actually menu button action will not perform. So compulsory we have to add this in a flow action, and then in a flow diagram we have to add this one. So like this, in the existing home screen only you can add this menu bar. No need to create a new one. And for this, create a flow. Save this one. And from the actions, click on run. When I click on that menu bar, it will show the menu submenus order, and if you click on the submenu, it will perform the action. So actions and all we have set in the navigation rule, user interface navigation, and the same action we configured in the menu bar control. Okay, if you click on this, okay, menu 1 and submenu, and if you directly click on this option, okay, how it should display means in a dialog box I have told, and if you click on the submenu, so like this, what are the forms you want to display? So those forms it will display in a new page like this. Okay, in a developer environment it will display like this. So what are the screen you designed, right? It will display in a new page like this. Okay, so like this we can configure any number of menus and submenus, and which type of page it should open, and what is the controls and what are the other things you have to give. So that one everything you have to design from section level only, because if you click on any of these things, what it should open and all, they'll have a requirement, design requirements will be there. So based on that they will configure the sections and flagships, and in the menu options and in the menu actions they will configure the pages. So like this, so whenever we design any menus or menu bars, so we have to set an action based on the requirement, and what are the pages we have to configure from the menu navigation rule. We have to set the actions and all. Okay, so which page it should launch, and already that page is designed or not. If not designed, we have to design a section and flagging for that, and we have to configure that page. So like this. So whenever a menu bar control we are creating in the application, compulsory along with the menu bar we have to configure the navigation rule. Okay, because only menu bar actions we can only configure from the navigation only, so other options are not possible. So only using the navigation user interface navigation only setting a action is possible. So like this. So along with this reference video I will share one more video also. So try to follow the steps, because I didn't have a flag actions here to add. So in that example you can see the flag actions and everything in detail. So within the home screen example you can configure that menu bar, and you can try the adding the flag actions and all in the navigation rule. So that one I'll share a video for that, you can practice. And next topic I'll discuss about routing. Okay, so basically routing here we have two scenarios are there, like routing to single operator and routing to multiple operators. Okay, and in PEGA terms we used to call it as work list and work basket. Work list and work basket. See, routing to using the work list option is nothing but directly assigning to the operator. Okay, for example, within the application, if you perform routing in the application level or within the work level, means within the applications how the work will be assigned to the developers, they'll use the same concept. Okay, suppose if business analyst want to assign a task for you, okay, what you have to design in the application and all, so they will use the same routing concept here also. And routing options will be two types: work list and work basket. Work list means assigning to single operator, and work basket means group of developers will be there. Okay, work basket contains group of developers means, or we can also call as group of contacts will be there. All the contacts means all the developer IDs, they will configure inside the work basket. And who is having access to this work basket? Every can access the tasks inside that work basket. For example, for this, okay, if we call to the customer care or someone, so there will be some, so many operators will be available to take the calls. Okay, at that time, but at that time when we make any call to the customer care team, who is available in the queue, the call will be assigned to them. Okay, some 50 operators are there for receiving the calls, but at that time, whenever we call to the customer care, so who is available in the queue, so based on the pool, the call will be assigned to that particular operator. So like this, here also in PEGA also, for example, for a team 10 developers, or for a, actually again in the real time, if you take, for each module they will configure a separate work basket. Okay, if module 1 is there, module 2 is there, module 3 is there, and for every module there will be separate work basket ID will be there. In module 1 10 developers are there means all the 10 developers will use one work basket, and module 2 contains some 8 developers, all these 8 developers will use a separate work basket. So like this, so when they configure this work basket ID, at that time only they will configure the context. So all these contexts, all these developers will use this work basket. And other, when they create one more work basket, so these are all developers will be using this particular work basket. And whenever a task is assigned to this means, see, business analyst will create a task and assign the task to the work basket. Okay, so means group of developer will be there at that time who is available to take this task, so automatically the task will be assigned to them. So like this. And work list means, so directly if is a some developer is there means, senior developer or some any system architect is there means, so directly if they want to only he can do the task means, so they will assign to them. Okay, using the work list option, so directly assigning to single developer. Okay, and work basket means group of developers will be there who is available to take the task at that time, so they will be assigned, the task will be assigned to them. So like this, two ways of routing will be there: work list and work basket. So before this, how to configure them, I will show you how to create operator IDs. See, operator IDs are nothing but the user IDs which we use it to log into the application. Okay, so when we configure a default application setup, PEGA will configure a default IDs like admin @ organization name, manager @ organization name, and user @ organization name. But everyone will not use that ID. From that ID, for every developer they will configure a new ID. Okay, so based on the default ID, for example, in this admin @ pega 1 is the my default operator ID, but everyone will not use the same ID, right? So based on the developer, every user will have developer portal and user portal ID. Okay, two separate IDs will be there in order to access both the portals, because in the developer, in the real time, developers will have two different IDs, one for developer or admin portal ID and another one for user portal ID. So when they configure these operator IDs, so using this they will give access to two different portals, and sometimes they will create two operator IDs separately also. For example, if they want to create a separate admin portal ID means, let's see. So from where we from actually it's not a developer task. Some other team will be there. Some admin team or lead team will be there. So they will configure these actions and all. Okay, so they'll create all these operator IDs and work baskets. But just for knowledge, I'm going to show you how to create them. Operator IDs are created from the organization category. Okay, under this option is operator ID. Okay, some username I'm giving, operator ID name. Any name they can do. Click on open. Okay, if they want to give any information, first name, last name, and full name. Okay, here they need to set the access group. Okay, whether it is for the user ID for the developer portal or user portal, we need to set the access group here. Okay, sample I'm giving as administrator, and before that we have something called work tab. Okay, after setting the application access, so from for which application we are creating this operator ID, and also we need to set the organization also. Okay, if you go to the work tab, we have something called routing. Okay, we need to map this routing and update for this organization. Actually our organization name is here, PEGA1 is the organization name. Okay, so you can see if you don't know the organization name, in the class group name the starting name is organization name, the middle name is the application name. Okay, so here organization name is PEGA1. Okay, and how to add this routing means, so we have the organization unit, something called organization division and unit. Just click on update. Okay, select PEGA1, expand division. PEGA1 is organization name, expand division and expand unit. Okay, highlight that unit and click on update. Means we are adding this organization name to this operator ID. So we are setting organization name for this operator ID. Okay, so from the work tab, so using the routing option, we can update the organization ID. So previously we don't have the organization. Now you can see the organization name here. If you want to set any password, if they want to set any password for this, so click on update password. So what are the password they want to set? They can give the new password here. Default password is rules. Okay, default password is rules, and if they want to set a new password means from the security they can set. Okay, so like this they'll configure these operator IDs. Save this ID, and this ID is for the admin portal. Okay, suppose once create a new session, same portal access will be same as this one only, but so what are the things this developer creates? He will log in using the new operator ID. And I'm giving the default password as rules. If you set any password, you can use that one. Okay, so whenever these developers want to develop an application, he will log in using that ID. Okay, and every design will be a design inside this operator ID. So like every developer will have his own ID, and apart from the developer ID, so for assigning the work management and all will be done from the user portal. Okay, every developer will also have access to user portal also. Okay, for that I will show you one more. I will create one more operator ID for the same user only. This time I am going to create a user portal ID. Okay, this time we need to select the access group as sample users. Okay, previously we have set the access group for the administrator, so this time we need to set the access for the users. Now again, once again, same process. From the worker tab under the routing option, we need to update the organization name, expand PEGA 1, expand division, highlight unit, and click on update. Okay, this operator ID belongs to this organization, that is PEGA 1. Save this one, and this portal access will be different. This is a ID created for the user portal. Okay, if you want to see how the portal looks like, and default password is rules. Okay, it's like a manager, like a not a case manager. Case manager and user portal looks same only, but access will be different. You will not get the entire access what manager gets. Okay, so basic, any task is assigned to the developer or any works assigned to the developer, only those tasks only he can see in the user portal. Okay, this one I'll show you. Once after creating the work basket also, I'll show you how the assignment will be done for this user portal and what are the tasks assigned to this user portal, how to access them, and from where we can access them. I will show you. Okay, so like this, so they will configure any number of, okay, they'll configure the user IDs, and every developer will log in with his own user IDs for the developer portal and user portal. And from here, okay, I'll show you how to assign to the work list using the work list option. How to business analyst will assign the work for the developers using the work list option. So work list means what? Directly assigning to the operator, directly assigning to the developer. So for that, from flow they will configure these things. From process flows, from process flows they will configure this thing. Okay, no need to configure any flow action directly. See, work assignment and all will be done from the assignment shape. The assignment shape purpose is to not only a developer, once after completing the task, they'll configure the flow action. But before adding the flow action, so business analyst will use this assignment for, they will design the main structure in the case level or process level, and then they will assign, each assignment will be, each task will be assigned to different developers. So if you take this task, each assignment is a task also, we can also call it as a task. Okay, at business analyst level, so this particular task can be assigned to one operator, so either using work list or work basket options. Okay, and how the assignment will be done means, from routing option it will be done. From the routing option, work assignment will be done. if you go open this assignment settings, so we have option called routing. Okay, who should complete this step? So if you use operator, okay, current operator or operator is current operator means, so that business analyst will come there. Operator means to whom this should be assigned. Okay, to which operator should complete this step or complete this task. So in the drop down, give the name of the operator. Okay, user portal ID is a user 2, and for that they will configure service level also. In the next session or after this, if time is there, I'll tell you. Actually, for every task, whenever a routing is assigned, along with the routing service level also they will define. Service level also will be assigned. I will tell you about this after this. So first of all, in the route to option, select operator, and work basket means, so multiple. It's like a pool will be there. So group of developers will be there. It will be assigned to the pool. But operator means, so directly assigning the task to the single operator or single developer. Just click on OK, and after adding this, if you save and run this flow, this one will be actually the technical team will come and they will configure the specifications and requirements. In the real time you'll get that option. So what are all the specifications? Okay, business analyst will only give the routing, but the lead team will come, and what are all the requirements? So they has to create, means what developers has to do in the application. They will give in the requirement document. Okay, like in attachments or in a document they will paste, and based on the document, so they has to perform this task. Okay, what are the things they has to create in the application? It will be there in the requirements document. Okay, so there the lead team will involve in that. Okay, so this just assigning and all will be done by business analyst, and the lead team will configure all the requirements and specifications. Now once run this thing, and this thing is assigned to Anand user. Okay, so operator ID Anand. If you log in with Anand, and if you, okay, already we are logged in with the user portal. Once refresh this page, in dashboard or in the my work list option, we can view this one. Okay, you can see here a urgent work is assigned to this particular operator, that is Anand operator. So the task ID is S2, and this category, so how many days is there, and all the things will be there. In the real time ticketing tools will be there. So automatically using the ticketing tools, so he can log into the developer portal and he can work on this task. Or else he can click on the my work page. Dashboard means it will show total cases information. Under each case, what are the access he is having, and to which case this urgent work is assigned. Okay, so currently it is under the sample category. Under the sample case, this work is, so this work is assigned. So like this, so in the dashboard we can see all the case stages and all, and in the my work list option the detailed description will be there. So from which case the task is assigned, okay, who assigned this task, and everything will be there in this my work list option. So if we don't have any tasks under the my work list, then we can go with the work basket. Okay, work basket we will not get access in the personal edition, but generally in the same portal we have an option called work basket. So there is a work option called work basket. So what are all the records assigned to the work basket, and they can check in this work basket records. So but it is not work, it will not work in the personal edition. My work list means, you can see after logging to the portal, user portal, he can see any tasks are assigned to the work list means it can be there in the my work list option. Okay, or else if no tasks are there in the work list, then they will go with directly with the work basket option. And before that, how to configure a work basket means, so like we they created the operator IDs for every developer. Similarly, they will also configure the work basket IDs also from the same category, from organization only. So So using the option work basket. Okay, give any name for the work basket. Okay, here organization name is PEGA 1. Unit name is unit only. And there is something called work group. Work group name will configure at the time of application setup only. Means based on the organization name, work group is common for, suppose if you have multiple work baskets, all the work baskets comes under one work group. Okay, work group is common for all the work baskets. If you we can create any number of work baskets in application, but for all these work groups comes under, sorry, all these work baskets comes under work group called default at the rate organization name. What is our organization name? PEGA 1 is organization name. So it is already created at the time of application setup only. Just we need to select the work group name here. Default at the rate organization name. What is the organization name we give? So with that name, PEGA will configure these work groups. And work groups is common for all the work baskets. Okay, so we can create any number of work baskets, but work group will be common for all these things. So okay, under the work group, all these work baskets are created. Then under this work basket, how many developers are there? They'll configure all the developer names. Okay, inside the context and what is their roles. So they will, the business analyst or some other technical team, they'll configure all the developer IDs and roles, what are the roles they want to give, everything they'll configure in this work basket. Suppose 10 developers they want to add under this work basket, means all the list of contacts they will give in the drop down. So currently we are having only, I'm giving two user IDs, but both are from different portals. So generally they will configure all the user portal IDs. Okay, so like this, what are all the contacts are there under this particular work basket? All the contacts details they will configure in the contacts option. Okay, so like this, so they will generate the work basket IDs. Now, how to assign the task to work basket means, so instead of using the work list option here, under the routing, they will select option as work basket. Okay, and in the drop down select the name of the work basket. Okay, so when a task is, so this particular task is now directly assigned to the work basket. Okay, and work basket contains a number of contacts are there, and who is particularly available at the time, who is available at the time to receive the task, they will be assigned the task, so they will get assigned the task. So like this, so routing and all they will configure in the by the business analyst and lead architects. So we will not create this routing, means work assignments and all. So based on the assigned task using the user portal, we will be receiving the task. Okay, and we will take the task based on the requirement. So whenever we are free, see, actually whenever the task, one task is finished, if you are available, immediately the next task will be assigned. Okay, so for that, different companies use different templates and different tools for ticketing, so for managing the tasks and all. So that common portal will be same, portal looks same only. Apart from that, the SAP integration tools also they may use. Okay, and if you want to see, I cannot show in the user portal, but I will show in the manager portal. This work basket I cannot, it will not work in the personal edition. Suppose based on this organization ID, if you log in with the manager portal ID, okay, we didn't run that one. Okay, we have to execute this one, execute the flow, then only it will be assigned to work basket. Okay, assigned to this work basket. Now just refresh this one, refresh the manager portal. Now one record is updated, work basket record. Okay, S3 is the work basket ID. So like this, so this task, so what are the tasks which under the work basket we have? It will be accessed by all the developers under this work basket. If we have 5 developers are there, all five developers can access this one, but who is available to take the ticket? So the task will be assigned to them in first in first out format. Okay, so what are the task is there in priority, so the task will be assigned to them. And along with this there will be service level also will be there. So about service level I'll tell tomorrow. Okay, so along with this recording I'll share one more reference recording. So if you have any doubts you can also refer that one also. Okay, so on navigation and menu bar control, and in that recording there may be a report definition also will be there. I will tell in detail tomorrow also once again. If you have time, once refer the report definition also. Okay, anyway I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. Any questions?
I have one quick question here. If you want to use your conditions between two screens in the screen flow, for example, like we have three pages, right? I don't want to go to page two until unless page one is all the information is provided and valid information.
Means within the any flow, like we can give a decision web, or else there will be something called entry point. There is an option called entry point within the screen flows.
Okay.
Okay, we can uncheck that entry point and directly it will jump to the what are the page you don't want to execute. Okay, without it is a manual setup, but so only thing if you want to directly you don't want to display any page means we can only give the decision rules only.
Okay, because I don't want to go to page two until unless that page one information is completely filled in page one.
Yeah, for that again you have to compulsory give a decision condition only, whether to execute that page or not.
Okay, but how does it like we have to give the page level validation to make sure like that
Yeah,
page is
you can
completely
use the
filled?
fork option. So there will be something called when condition will be there. So when condition you
Okay.
can define. So when condition contains only yes or no options will be there. Else or else if. Okay, only two pages. Okay, either execute yes or no will be there. So then there will be something called fork. You can use that option. I'll show you in the coming sessions.
Okay, okay.
Okay, you
I have
have to
one
define a. You cannot define a decision table or like that. You'll define just a simple when condition you'll define, and then you'll use in the decision shape. You need to use fork option, and then it will work. So
okay, okay.
directly, yeah, either if you want to go to that page or this page, you can decide.
Okay. Another thing is like, for example, if you define a property, for example, phone number, right?
Okay.
Uh, Initially we defined as an integer. So
Okay,
can't we
actually,
change the
yeah, here
data
property data type we cannot change. In the current version, till 6.3 is possible to change the data type, but in 7 version they didn't give that option. Either you have to use save as option or delete the property and change the data type. So changing the data type is not possible at property level.
So, for example, like initially I created a property phone number and I used in five screens, I mean five sections.
Okay.
Later I realized the phone number should be as a text
Okay.
because I want to use the format.
It's only
So if
problem
I
with
delete
the
and
personal edition only. So don't worry. It's only a limitation in the personal edition only. You can change in the real
oh, but
time.
in real time we can change it.
You can change in the real time. Actually,
Okay.
till previous version in personal edition, they gave option to change the data types. I don't know. In 7 personal edition, they didn't give that option. They gave only
But in the
status.
we can change it, right?
Yeah, we can change.
Okay. Even like if you have data table, like if I want to add a column or letter, so can I add
Yeah,
that
you can.
also?
Yeah, you can add in the data table also in the real time.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Hari,
Yes,
can I
Tim.
call you in, can I call you after this on right now?
No, not
Just for two
in the
minutes.
evening. I will take a call. I need
No,
to.
it's not a doubt or anything. I'll give a call just for 2 minutes only.
Okay, fine.
Okay.